her boyfriend would never hurt her.
I mean, we don't even know where he is.
Did he pick you up, or did you go pick him up, or how did it work?
Happy birthday, dear Danny.
Don't want to, his daughter.
August 27th, 2018. Diane Bryan is working when she receives a call from a news reporter. The reporter asked about her son, Seren Bryan, and his girlfriend, Danielle Marzejka, who have both been staying at Danielle's residence in suburban Detroit. Diane doesn't understand what is happening, so the reporter decides that they must have the wrong number and hangs up. Feeling unsettled, Diane goes to a computer and searches for Seren's name. Not only does she discover that her son and Danielle had been missing for a few days, but now she is suddenly reading an article that her son's body has been found.
911, where's your
Hello?
emergency?
Hello?
Hello, 911.
Hi, I need someone to come to my house immediately.
Okay, what's going on over there?
Well, my sister's been missing for 4 or 5 days. Her and her boyfriend. And we just found 2 bags in the shed, and there's flies all, I think they're in the shed in a bag, okay? And I'm just scared to open it.
Okay, we don't want you to touch anything, okay? Because if it is something like that, there's going to be evidence, okay?
We stopped.
Okay,
We stopped.
you said there's how many bags in that shed?
There's like 5 bags, but these 2 are the ones with flies all over them, okay? Can you just get someone here to check, please?
Yep, we're getting everyone on the way. What's your name?
Kevin Marzejka. Get over here, please.
Sir.
Hi.
Hey.
So what's going on here?
So, my sister, his daughter, has been missing for 5 days now.
Okay.
I did a walk around the house to check if there's any trails or anything suspicious. Seen a boatload of flies behind the shed. And when I pulled things out, we have these
It smells
bags
like death in there.
filled with flies, and they don't look good.
I can't even open it.
What makes you think that she's there? What makes you think something happens to her?
Don't make me think she's there. Don't tell me she's there. I can't even.
So let's just see what we got first. And
Yeah, I mean, we don't even know where he is.
that doesn't look normal. I'll do light.
Oh yeah, it's dude.
yeah.
We don't have to talk. We're confirmed.
Danielle Marzejka was 18 years old and said to have been a very optimistic person. She was very positive and always saw the good in the world. She would often take pictures with her arms stretched out, taking in all the beauty of life around her. Her boyfriend, Seren, was 19 years old and similar to her in many ways. He was known to be a very kind and sensitive soul. Instead of troubling others with his problems, he would oftentimes use art as a form of therapy. He never wanted to make people unhappy, just like Danielle.
How old is she?
18. Her and her boyfriend Seren is 19 are both missing. They both work with me. I dropped them off after work on Thursday morning. They've been missing since Thursday at 8 a.m. That's when I dropped them off. That's the last time they were
Where'd you
seen.
drop them off?
Here at their house after work.
That was the last time you saw them?
That's the last time anyone saw them. So we were looking for the key. We couldn't find the key. One of the keys is missing. So we found the spare, and there was a bag covered in flies. It smelled like death, and then they were in it. So her dad and brother cut it open and pulled the plastic apart, and then both screamed, freaked out, and ran to the shed.
It's kind of rough, isn't it, man?
What are they doing now?
Yeah, not for a little while. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they got it.
Don't want to.
His daughter. I know. I get it.
When your shed, it was locked, right?
Yeah.
You and Kevin went, right?
Yep.
Whose key did you use?
Mine.
Detectives take family and friends in for questioning and get a warrant to search the property since it doesn't appear that the shed is the scene of the crime, but rather where the bodies were dumped. Inside the residence, it seems to be normal and unsuspicious. That is, until they get to Danielle's room. Spraying a chemical that detects blood, they discover their crime scene. Searching more of the house, they find bloody materials hidden away in another bedroom, as well as blood in the bathroom.
What's your name? Kevin. Kevin, Joe Burns. I'm a detective here. Hey, yeah, quit. How's Seren's relationship been with Danielle? I mean, they get along.
I mean, from what I was told from her friends,
Okay.
that her boyfriend would never hurt her. So I figured if, she got hurt, he was with her,
So just so I can get this straight in my head, because I'm not that smart.
Yeah.
Living there at that time, so within the last week, I had you living there, your dad,
Yeah.
Seren,
Yeah.
Danielle. Was there anybody else?
My brother,
Okay. And what's your brother's name?
Robert.
Okay.
Were you trying to communicate with him that night?
I tried on Facebook Messenger.
Okay. Well, you didn't try to.
And, well, the thing is, I could tell, he caught, drift of what's going on, and he pretty much said he's shutting his phone off. I gotta go charge my phone, and
Yeah.
he never came back online.
Right.
So I didn't bother trying to call, trying to text. If he's not coming back online, he's obviously knows what's going on at that point.
What about your dad? How's your dad?
Quite the drunk,
Okay.
and we lost my mom in 2011, and he's never really been the same, Well, he's always drank. Before, he used to take pain pills, too.
Right.
And the mix of the both always made
Okay.
he just blatantly was no reason. 3 kids, we've been on our own pretty much since,
What does he do?
He paints.
Okay. So has he been painting at all?
Yep.
Okay. So he's been going out to work, but you said he's drinking quite a bit?
Yep.
He was worried about her. And now, the end is near. And so I face the final curtain.
For you? Why for you?
Because if that's hurting my shed, I'm done, son. I'm done.
And you don't remember whose key you used to get in there?
You know what? My key wasn't on the shelf.
Right.
I remember that.
Now you
What it
remember.
always is.
Now you remembered after I told you that.
What?
Because the whole day you were telling me that it was your key you were using.
Because that's what I always use. All right?
And then when I told you that.
Listen, well, believe me, I've been sleeping days.
Okay, well, I get
Listen. I remember it because I went up on the shelf where I have the house keys, and it wasn't there. So I said, my key's not there. And I checked my pockets, because sometimes I have it. No, it wasn't there. Because we had to break the damn lock to get in.
Right. Where is Robert staying at right now?
I have no clue.
You said Robert was with you when you went to work on Thursday?
Yeah.
Did he pick you up, or did you go pick him up, or how did it work?
No, he picked me up. He dropped me off.
Okay. So he picked you up in the morning,
Yep.
dropped you off at 5:30.
Yep.
So you were with him the whole day.
Yes.
I'm trying to put pieces together because we want to talk to Robert so that we can get his story too.
I'd rather not involve somebody that doesn't need to be involved.
You realize we're talking about possibly dead people here, right?
Speaking more about Robert Jr., they discover that the room where the bloody materials were found is his room. Unfortunately, no one knows where he is. The only thing they know is that the father stated Robert Jr. was with him on the 23rd, which is the day the couple went missing. His words will come into question, though, the more detectives dig. The next day, autopsy reports come in. Both Danielle and Seren had been struck in the head with a sledgehammer, and then asphyxiated with a plastic bag duct-taped around their neck. It is a brutal double homicide, and family and friends have no idea why someone would do this to such a good-natured young couple. Detectives suddenly get word that the family van and Robert Jr. are gone. They quickly get a warrant to search his phone records to try and track his movements. Looking at the call records, they find out that Robert Jr. called a taxi cab company to schedule a ride on the 23rd, the day the couple went missing.
So I spoke to your operator. I asked her about the 23rd. You recall going to pick up somebody at that at a trailer last Thursday?
Okay, I kind of do remember.
Can you tell me anything about that pickup on who it was or anything you recall?
Oh, I can't really remember. Dropped him off at Wendy's. Or I asked him, did you have a specific spot you want to be dropped off? And he said first, I think, at Walgreens and then at Wendy's. pulled right in, and very first parking spot, he got out and paid me, and that's all I know.
The detectives go to the Wendy's the cab driver said he dropped Robert off at and go through the CCTV footage right away. They quickly find Robert Jr., who does not seem to be acting in any way out of the ordinary. They track him leaving the Wendy's and heading straight towards a bus stop, so they quickly get the camera footage from inside the bus to see where he gets off at. Robert gets off at the last stop and isn't seen again. This is odd to detectives, as the father said that Robert Jr. picked him up on that day, and they went together to work. Police are able to get photos of the family van and send out a bulletin to the media in hopes of getting a lead. Soon after, a tip comes in that the van was seen over 50 miles away, in Toledo, Ohio. Detectives notify Toledo police, and soon the van is found, sitting in a store's parking lot. Looking through the van and around the perimeter, there is no sign of Robert Jr. They cannot tell how long the van has been there or where Robert might be. Toledo police check the surrounding areas of where the van was found and get any camera footage they can find. Going through hours of footage, they finally see Robert in Target. He was wearing a disguise, which is actually what gave him away, as he looked like he was wearing a wig and trying to hide. He purchased a cell phone, and then not even an hour after, he brings the cell phone back and returns it. They then find him later in the day at a gas station purchasing food. He also tries to buy a pack of cigarettes, but is denied because he doesn't have any ID on him. Detectives know that Robert is trying to get far away, and conclude that he will likely take a bus or train, since he doesn't have his ID to be able to fly. They check CCTV at bus and train stations near where he was seen, and soon find him purchasing a ticket. Checking his ticket information, they see that he took a night bus on the 28th at about midnight and arrived in Cincinnati, Ohio, early morning on the 29th. Detectives immediately notify the U.S. Marshals in Cincinnati for help. U.S. Marshals do not have jurisdiction limitations, so they will be able to follow Robert Jr. wherever he goes. They go to the Greyhound station and find out that Robert asked an employee where he can buy a cell phone, as well as where the public library is. Knowing that this footage was from about 6 hours ago, the marshals decide to go to the public library in hopes that Robert will be there. CCTV footage inside the library shows Robert walking around, but it is unsure how far the marshals are off his tail. Arriving at the library, where there is a security guard at the front door, they show a picture of Robert and tell the security guard that they are going to be searching around for him, and that they do not want to cause a scene as he is considered dangerous. While talking, the elevator suddenly rings, and the security guard points behind the U.S. Marshals to the opening elevator doors. Robert Jr. is caught safely. He is driven back to Detroit, saying nothing the whole time.
Obviously what happened was unimaginable, you know, and it happened to your sister, which is awful, okay? But a lot of times there's reasons why things happen, and whether those reasons are understandable or not, I'm just here to hear you out, okay? So, what did you have to say about it? Did something happen that you lost, or what happened?
Well, my first question is, what is my charges? Something like that. If they're normally
You got 2 counts. This is actual the charge document here. 2 counts of homicide, murder in the first degree.
What is that?
Premeditated.
What is premeditated?
I mean, you plan to do it. And if that's not the case, you tell me. You're looking at the worst charge possible. Okay. Killing 2 people. Alright? But nobody can understand why this happened.
Robert does not give an answer as to why he did it, but instead asks to speak with his brother.
Hello? Hey, Kevin? Just got back from Cincinnati. I've got Robert here with me. Okay, all right. I'll talk to you in a few, Kevin.
Okay. Hello? Hello? Hey. So, are you gonna make this case go easier, bro? What do you mean?
Are you guys okay in the house? Like,
we're not living there anymore, Rob. There's blood everywhere. So, are you pushing guilty to everything?
no, I'm not. Wait,
Why?
I can't really talk about it on the phone, but
Even though Robert Jr. does not confess to the murders, he is still charged, as he had purchased the hammer, duct tape, and shovel.
There was no question that Robert Marzejka was going to be sentenced to life in prison without parole for the murders of his sister Danielle and her boyfriend Seren Bryan. The only question was if Marzejka would show any sort of remorse. The answer was no, even as Bryan's mother gave a tearful statement about her kind-hearted son who put people at ease with his sense of humor.
My hope was that he would grow up to be a kind, thoughtful person who loved himself and others. And I'm very thankful that I saw him become that man.
The rustle of a grocery bag can knock me to my knees.
All right. Do you wish to say anything? No. You don't wish to say anything? You murdered your sister, Danielle, and her boyfriend, Sarah, and you don't wish to say anything?
no.
All right. Well, I just want to point out in the PSI, it says the defendant reported that he is in good physical and mental health. So you don't have much to say, sir, so I don't have much to say except that you're an evil man and you're going where you belong.
He is sentenced to mandatory life in prison without the possibility of parole. We still have no idea why he killed his own sister and her boyfriend. He has never spoken about it, but we hope that one day Robert will give the reason for what he did. Seren's mother created an independent organization called Seren's Shining Arts that helps young people use art as a way to express themselves. If you would like to visit the organization's website, the link is provided in the description. Robert Jr. tried to plead not competent to stand trial due to mental illness, but was cleared. While Robert was charged with premeditated first-degree murder, some do believe that it was not premeditated. What are your thoughts?